In this Photoshop tutorial, I'll be showing you how I took this image from this to this by extending the background in Photoshop. And if you want to see how I took this shot in a Costco parking lot, I'll have that video linked down below. Alright, so I always start in Lightroom, so here is the image that I am going to work on. And then I have these two images of the scenery that I took surrounding it. So I am going to copy all the adjustments from here and copy them onto these two images so that my colors match. Alright, so now all those colors should look the same. Perfect. Alright, so we'll open this one up in Photoshop first. Not this one. This one will open first. Alright, so I'm just going to duplicate my layer really quick because I always duplicate my layer. And then, since this is the image we're going to be working on, I am going to open the cropping tool. And I'm going to clear this because we're not going to make it a square quite yet. That's where we're going to end up, but it's not where we're going to start. So, we have it here. Back up a little bit. And I'm just going to pull these out because I'm going to extend my background to the right and to the left, but not vertically. So I'm going to hit OK there. Alright, and I just wanted to give myself plenty of room to work in, which is why I did not start by just creating a square crop right away. I'm actually going to extend this one out just a little bit further too, and then I'll crop in as we go. I probably won't fill these all the way up, but I just want to give myself a good sized canvas to work with. So we'll go back into Lightroom and we'll open up this image. Alright, and I'll Control A to select all and then grab my cursor, and I'm going to drag this onto this image here. There we go. So we'll have quite a bit of room. We'll just put it there for now, and then I'm going to go back into Lightroom again and grab the other side. I always make sure to grab extra shots of the scene just in case I end up wanting to do this, because there have been times where I didn't want to when I was shooting, and then I get into edit and I'm like, oh, I should have gotten extra shots of the scene. So from wherever I'm at, so like I was right here when I was taking a shot, so I'll take some this way. I'll also take some up and some down just in case, so I give myself a maximum amount of options. This was kind of hard because there were these green bushes in the scene or on the location where I was at, and I really they're not fitting the vibe. There's not like enough. Alright, I'm not liking that one actually, so I'm gonna delete that layer. And actually what I'm gonna do is go back to this image. Yeah, this one, and then I'm going to actually flip it. Yeah. And then we'll just bring the flipped version back in on this side. That works better for me. Okay, so this is like, since I flipped them and covered it, it creates kind of one of those like kaleidoscope kind of looking things. But anyway, so we're gonna go back to the first layer, so we're on this side. I'm gonna make a mask and get my brush, and I'm gonna paint away some of this. That's not all the way. Gotta turn my opacity back up. There. Okay, so now the trick to doing this is we're gonna be working kind of on two different levels here, which is gonna be a little annoying to go back and forth on, but we'll get there. So I'm just going to start there, and then I'll go back to this side on this layer, create a mask, and then I'll brush this as well. There we go. Alright, so we got me in there. And I'm going to kind of cover this because I don't really like that in there anyway. It was really rocky where I was, so I put a blanket. It was also wet from the rain the night before, so I just put down a little blanket. There we go. That's better. I'll come back over here and do this as well. All right. And now, so I don't really want this to look like a kaleidoscope. So what I'm going to do, actually, I think what I should do is drag this one over a smidgen more so that we're not quite on there. There we go. Alright, and then I'll go back to my mask and redo some of this. This is just going to be a lot of kind of back and forth here, which is what most of my photos are. Is just using a lot of masks. So, but this is how I like to extend my backgrounds. You can do other things like the AI generative fill and things like that, though I do find that the generative fill kind of struggles when your background kind of has patterns like this. That's just kind of what I found, so I like to do it this way, but by all means you can try it. So let's see. Alright, I'm gonna kind of paint, yeah, there we go, because I don't want this to look like this. Right, so on those edges of these images like this, I'm just gonna make sure that I don't see any like harsh lines cutting through these leaves, because that's gonna be pretty noticeable. So when I take this off, so you can see that's kind of where this goes. So you can kind of see the line on this one. You can see it going right down there. And we don't want that because it doesn't obviously look real. So we're going to paint some of that away. Kind of try to make these leaves a little more whole. Alright, so there we go. We've extended the background to make it look more like how I want and more in that square format. I'm going to actually come down here. I realized I forgot to fix this part in here. Just kind of get that really quick because you can't see that blanket no more. There we go. Come back over here and do this too. Okay. So if we take that out and that out, this is where we started, and we put these in here, and it also helped fill some of these spaces. And then to complete this image, I also filled in some of these spaces with my clone stamp tool, and I cleaned up the background a bit. And then I went in with my crop, and I went and put my 1:1 ratio in here to get that square crop that I did this whole thing for. So there we go. And kind of like right in there. Right, and there we go. So that is how I extended my background to get my completed image. After I finished extending the background, I did a little bit of cleanup. I cleaned up some of these brighter leaves down here. I added a vignette. I pulled this dress up a little bit, and I filled in some of these spaces up here. I really liked how the space down here kind of made this curve, so I left those kind of open. And this is the final image. If you found this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. I have quite a few more tutorials planned to show you, and I will see you in the next one.